Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Montreal Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news. Now folks, if you've been following the Canadiens this season, you already know that it's been a roller coaster. The team has faced its ups and downs, but one thing is crystal clear. The Canadiens are always looking for ways to improve, to get better, especially on defense. And this offseason, that need has become even more urgent. Why? Because one of their key veteran defensemen, David Savard, recently announced his retirement from the NHL. Yes, you heard that right. After a solid career spanning over a decade, Savard has decided to hang up his skates. And honestly, for Canadiens fans, that's a noteworthy event, not just because we're losing a dependable shutdown defenseman, but because it opens up a crucial spot on the blue line. David Savard, at age 34, after completing his 4-year, $14 million contract, realized that his body just couldn't keep up anymore. He's been a stalwart on the Canadiens' blue line, known for his physicality, his defensive prowess, and his leadership qualities. But as he pointed out, around Christmas time, he started feeling that his body was failing him. It's a tough decision, no doubt, but one that many NHL players face as they reach their mid-30s. Savard's career was impressive. He played in 870 NHL games, a testament to his durability and consistency. He also achieved the ultimate team accolade, winning the Stanley Cup in 2021 with the Tampa Bay Lightning. That's a career many players dream of, and Savard certainly made his mark. You see, Savard's retirement leaves a significant hole in Montreal's defense. And that's where things get interesting. The Canadiens aren't just sitting back and waiting, they're actively scouting for options. And one name that's been circulating among insiders and analysts is Dante Fabbro, a young, talented defenseman currently with the Nashville Predators. Fabbro, who was drafted 17th overall in 2017, has had a somewhat rocky start to his NHL career, but last season was a breakout for him. He was coming off a deal worth $2.5 million for 1 year, and he really showcased his potential, finishing the season with 9 goals, 17 assists, and a total of 26 points in 68 games. That's quite a productive year for a defenseman still in his mid-20s. What makes Fabbro an intriguing target for Montreal? Well, first, he's a right-shot defenseman, which is exactly what the Canadiens need to bolster their blue line. Plus, he's relatively inexpensive at the moment, but he's clearly on the cusp of a big raise. NHL analyst Arpon Basu from The Athletic has been vocal about this, suggesting that Montreal should seriously consider signing Fabbro. Basu points out that Fabbro might not even make it to July 1st, because both Nashville and Montreal see his potential. The Canadiens, in particular, need a reliable right-handed shot to play alongside their young prospects like Jordan Harris and Kaiden Guhle, and Fabbro fits that mold perfectly. Of course, Fabbro's journey in the NHL hasn't been smooth sailing. After being drafted in 2017, he struggled to find his footing initially, but last season proved that he can be a significant contributor at the NHL level. He put up some impressive numbers and showed that he can play both in a shutdown role and contribute offensively when needed. His 9 goals and 17 assists in the previous season aren't just numbers, they're a sign that he's evolving into a more well-rounded player. And that's exactly what Montreal needs. Someone who can bring stability and offensive upside from the blue line, especially on the right side. Now, here's the catch. Fabbro is likely to get a multi-year deal and a substantial raise, which could complicate negotiations. But given the Canadiens' cap space, just over $6.1 million, if they're strategic, they could make it work. They might have to move some pieces around, perhaps shed a contract or two, but securing a player of Fabbro's caliber could be a game-changer for their defensive core. Think about it. A young, mobile, right-shooting defenseman who is still developing, but has already shown flashes of brilliance. That's exactly the kind of player Montreal needs to build for the future. especially as they're looking to develop their young prospects like Rienbacher and Melu. Having a seasoned, yet still young, defenseman like Fabro to guide them could be invaluable. And let's not forget, the Canadiens have a history of making smart moves in free agency. They're not just looking for a stopgap, they're aiming to build a sustainable contender. Adding a player like Fabro could serve both immediate needs and long-term goals. He's versatile, can play in different roles, and brings a physical presence that Montreal's blue line could certainly benefit from. Plus, with his experience in Nashville, he's proven he can handle the pressure and play meaningful minutes in a competitive environment. That's exactly the type of leadership and stability Montreal needs to push toward playoff success again. But beyond Fabro, the Canadiens' management is also exploring other options. They know the importance of bolstering their defense, especially on the right side, to complement their existing core. They're also considering other free agents, possibly veterans who can bring leadership and grit, and maybe even some younger players who could develop into key contributors. The offseason is always a time of strategic moves, and Montreal's front office is no different. They're assessing their cap situation carefully, weighing the pros and cons of different signings, and trying to strike the perfect balance between short-term impact and long-term development. Now, for the fans watching, it's natural to feel a mix of excitement and anticipation. The defense has been an area of concern for a while, and losing Savard has only heightened that. But it's also an opportunity to bring in fresh talent, a new identity on the blue line, and to set the stage for a new chapter in Canadiens' history. And with Fabro possibly on the horizon, there's a real sense of hope that Montreal is making moves to stay competitive and even to reassert themselves as a force in the Atlantic Division and beyond. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet. Negotiations are ongoing, and a lot can change in the coming weeks. But what's clear is that the Canadiens are serious about addressing their defensive needs. They're looking at the big picture, aiming to build a team that can contend for the Stanley Cup again, and that means making smart, strategic moves now. Whether it's Fabro or another player, the message is that Montreal isn't resting on its laurels. They're actively shaping their roster to be stronger, more dynamic, and ready for the challenges ahead. As fans, we should be optimistic but also realistic. Building a championship team takes time, effort, and a bit of luck. But the signs are there that the Canadiens are on the right track. They're trying to capitalize on the opportunities available in free agency and are clearly determined to improve their blue line, which is the backbone of any successful team. The future is bright, and with the right signings, Montreal could be back in the thick of the playoff hunt sooner than we think. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Fabro is the right fit, or do you have other names in mind? Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Montreal Canadiens news. We're in this together, and your passion fuels everything we do. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Habs.